You take Tadalafil and your penis still doesn't get as hard as you wanted. You take the pill, you wait, you trace the chemistry and nothing. You are left there in that frustration thinking something is seriously wrong with you. Let me tell you something. It may not be the Tadalafil that's failing. There are 3 factors that can interfere with how well Tadalafil works. And the most surprising one is the third, which almost every man does without realizing he's sabotaging his own erection. Stick with me to the end and I will show you all 3, one by one. I see this every single day in my practice. A man comes in thinking he needs a stronger dose, a more expensive drug, when the problem may not be the pill at all. It's 3 things nobody explains to you. Come with me and I will explain each one. Before we start, let me introduce myself for those who don't know me yet. I'm Marlon Mattedi, a psychologist specializing in sexology. And for over 20 years, I have been treating men with premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction. Everything I'm about to tell you is what I actually see work in my practice. I have done more than 10,000 consultations in my career, and here on this channel, I share simple male sexual health techniques that improve potency, erection quality, and control, all without relying on any medication. So subscribe here because every video I post is going to help you have better and better sex with real health and without relying on pills. First, you need to understand what Tadalafil actually does. Pay attention to this because it's simple to understand. Tadalafil is a substance that inhibits an enzyme in your body called phosphodiesterase type 5. When that enzyme is blocked, you get more nitric oxide signaling, and nitric oxide is the molecule that helps trigger vasodilation, meaning it opens up the diameter of your arteries. Wider arteries, more blood reaching the far ends of your body, and one of those far ends is the penis. So in theory, more nitric oxide, more blood, better erection. So far, it all looks great on paper, but there's a problem. Tadalafil only prepares the ground. It doesn't flip the switch. And there are exactly 3 things that can stop that switch from flipping, even with all the chemistry working in your favor. Are you with me so far? Then hold on, because the first factor is where almost everyone trips up. The first factor, no stimulation, no erection. Here's the first thing almost every man ignores. It's no use taking Tadalafil and sitting on the couch, waiting for it to kick in. It's no use taking it and lying in bed, waiting for the penis to rise on its own. That doesn't happen. You know why? Because Tadalafil doesn't send the signal. The one that sends the signal is the brain, and the brain only sends that signal when it receives the stimulation. It's the kiss, the touch, the embrace, the grip, what you see, what you hear, the scent of the person. It's the 5 senses kicking in and telling the brain, go ahead now, get an erection. If that stimulation isn't there, the brain doesn't fire the command, and then no chemistry can fix it. You can take whatever dose you want. If the signal doesn't leave the brain, the blood never gets the order to fill the penis. And there's more. The stimulation has to be pleasant. If you are not comfortable, if the situation isn't good, if the person next to you in that moment doesn't truly turn you on, that can interfere with the effect too. There's no Tadalafil that works miracles on top of stimulation that isn't happening or isn't good. If you got this point, comment here. Makes sense. The second factor, the fear that closes your arteries. Now pay close attention to this because it's pure body math. You took a substance that's a vasodilator. It wants to open your arteries. But if you are afraid of failing, afraid it won't work again, afraid of what the person will think, afraid she'll tell someone, that fear releases a hormone in your body called adrenaline. And what does adrenaline do? Exactly the opposite. Adrenaline is a vasoconstrictor. It can narrow the diameter of your arteries. So think about the math with me. On one side, Tadalafil is trying to open. On the other, the adrenaline from your fear is closing things down. Who wins that fight? Your body's stress response can overpower the effect you are looking for. And that's why so many men take the medication, do everything right, and still have trouble getting or maintaining an erection because the fear was there, working against them the whole time. I see this every single day in my practice. The man doesn't have a major physical problem. He has a ghost in his head. Let me explain this fight. Adrenaline is the survival hormone. It's the same hormone a zebra releases when it sees a lion. And when the body is in a state of alert, it shuts down everything that isn't essential for fighting or feeding. And an erection to your body in that moment of fear is no priority at all. Think about the zebra. It's not going to mate while it senses the lion nearby. Its body won't allow it. And your body works the exact same way. If your head is in a state of danger, what if I fall again? Your body reads that as danger and narrows the blood vessels. It doesn't matter how much Tadalafil you took. That's why I tell my patients, as long as you have got the ghost of failure in your head, you are feeding the adrenaline, and adrenaline narrows your blood vessels. That's why psychological factors are an important cause of erection problems, especially when fear and performance anxiety are involved. The body may work fine. What jams it up is the fear. And look at the cruel cycle. You fail once, you create fear. At the next encounter, the fear is already there before you even start. The fear releases adrenaline, the adrenaline makes it harder to get or maintain an erection, and the failure reinforces the fear. It's a snowball, and the pill on its own doesn't break that cycle because the problem isn't only chemical, it's emotional too. Before I tell you the third factor, the one that catches most people off guard, I want to genuinely help you. If you have this difficulty, if your penis isn't getting as hard as you would like, if you have failures with erections and don't have the vitality you want, I have put together my Lion training with the right techniques to help you overcome erection difficulties and improve the quality of your erections without relying on medication. The link is right below in the description. Do you have any questions so far? Write them in the comments and I will read your question and answer it. I am here to help you, and if you are enjoying the content, comment like it. The third factor, the mistake almost every man makes. Now we have reached the moment I promised you at the beginning. The third factor is the one that can interfere with Tadalafil the most, and almost nobody suspects it: alcohol. Pay attention to this because it's where a lot of guys sabotage themselves without realizing it. A man thinks, I'll take the Tadalafil, I'll have a few beers to relax, to loosen up, and it will work better. And exactly the opposite can happen. You know why? Alcohol affects the central nervous system. It can slow down communication in the brain. Alcohol affects the perception of touch on the skin, the perception of the senses, smell, which stimulate an erection. And look at the contradiction you are creating inside your own body. On one side, you took Tadalafil to help support the erection. On the other side, you drank alcohol, which can interfere with the signals and physical responses your body needs for an erection. An erection depends on communication between the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves that reach the penis. That communication helps the body respond to sexual stimulation and produce an erection. And alcohol interferes with that communication, especially when you drink more. Depending on how much you drink, it can make it harder for the signals and physical responses involved in an erection to work properly. And there's another important point. Combining Tadalafil with larger amounts of alcohol can also increase the risk of dizziness and a drop in blood pressure. So you have got all three factors working against you. Without pleasant stimulation, the brain doesn't send the sexual signal. With fear, adrenaline can interfere with the blood flow you need for an erection. And with alcohol, the communication and physical responses involved in an erection can become less effective. Three forces pulling against Tadalafil. Which of these three do you identify with most? Comment down below. Now I'm going to tell you what works best, and it's the opposite of what most men do. Almost every man, when he notices the failure, does two wrong things at the same time. He focuses on the penis, staring at it, pressuring it, watching to see if it's raising or not. And he speeds up the pace, rushing, anxious, trying to force it back. And that's the worst possible path. Because focusing on the penis means focusing on the pressure. And pressure creates anxiety. And anxiety releases adrenaline. And you already know what adrenaline does. It closes everything down. So flip the logic. Instead of focusing on the penis, focus on your five senses. Take your attention off the pressure and put it on the kiss, the touch, the scent, the skin, on what you are feeling and hearing. When you focus on your senses, you take your brain out of watchdog mode. And without that constant vigilance, anxiety can come down. Less anxiety means less adrenaline. And less adrenaline can help your blood vessels stay relaxed. And then, yes, the erection can come more naturally with or without a pill. And the pace is slow down. I tell my patients this every day. Speeding up is one of the worst mistakes. And here's something almost nobody understands. When a man feels himself going soft and speed up the penetration, thinking he'll force the erection back, exactly the opposite can happen. He can go soft even faster. You know why? Because when you are already anxious and focused on forcing the erection back, speeding up can increase the physical and mental pressure you are putting on yourself. Your heart rate goes up, your body becomes more activated, and the anxiety can release even more adrenaline. And so what was already closing down can shut down even faster. In other words, are you going soft? Instead of speeding up, slow down. And take the focus off of yourself, your performance. Put it on the other person, on the touch, on her presence. The slower and more present you are, the more stimulation your brain receives, and the more your body has a chance to respond. Rushing is the enemy of an erection. Calm is your ally. Look at what changes when you understand this. You stop depending only on the chemistry and start working with your own body. Tadalafil stops being the crutch and becomes at most a little push, because the real engine is the stimulation, the absence of fear, and the calm mind. And that's why I tell you this from what I see in my practice. Many men who come to me with this problem don't need Tadalafil or a stronger dose. They need to understand this mechanism and stop sabotaging themselves. You can't stop being the zebra and go back to being the lion, with presence, with calm, with confidence, with control. There's a solution. I can tell you that from more than 20 years of working with these problems. You don't have to suffer with this. And if you want to solve this at the root and stop depending on medication, do the lion training. The link is right here in the description. And now I want to recommend another video to you. I will leave it right here on the screen. Watch it now because it complements everything you learned here. I'm here to help you, and every video is one more step toward you having better sex with health and without relying on pills. See you in the next one.